8 issues you need to fight about before you get married. Number 1, do you want to make a person, or 5? Most couples discuss whether or not they want children, and how many, although they usually change that number after having them, Gabor says. But with so many couples marrying later in life than they once did, it may also be worth delving into what happens if kids don't happen. Will you pursue fertility treatments, adoption, or choose to be childless? Establishing boundaries with your mother-in-law. Spend time with each other's families, you says. What are your prospective spouse's boundaries currently like with their parents and siblings, and can you live with that? Number 3, handling religion. Religiously blended families are more frequently becoming the norm. But that doesn't mean your individual families aren't going to pressure you to raise your kids a certain way, and you probably have your own personal belief system and moral code to contend with too. Distributing the dirty work. Designate, 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 or else you run the risk of finger pointing, Gabor says. As a married person, I will attest to this. My husband does all the sweeping and vacuuming, and I handle all the laundry. I make the kids breakfast each morning, while he brushes their teeth every night. We figured this out simply by agreeing to do the chore we hated least. Number 5, more money equals more problems. It's important to be open with your partner about your debts, you says. It's also important to talk about and discuss your views on money and spending. Will finances be shared, separate? Who will manage finances? What if income levels are disparate? Number 6, learning each other's love languages. Love languages, or differences in them, will start to emerge in your dating relationship, you says. But they become more apparent once the honeymoon period is over. It's best to be honest about your love languages prior to getting engaged. It's also good to practice giving love to your partner in their preferred love language. Number 7, staying serious about sex. Somewhat related to love languages is the topic of sex, you says. What are their expectations for and from their partner when it comes to their sexual, intimate relationship? Other good questions to ask: how many times per week do each of you want to have sex? Is one of you more interested in having sex in the morning, while the other one wants it at night? Number 8, me time versus us time. You should also consider discussing the level of autonomy each of you wants in the relationship, you says. Prior to marriage, couples tend to spend more time together, so it's not something that comes up often as a point of conflict, but it's definitely something to discuss. How much autonomy and independence does each partner expect after marriage?